Our sponsors: The Finkley Experience, HBCU First, The Jamal Bakes Morning Show, J&J Leadership Academy. Thank you for your contributions towards The Michael Finkley Show. HBCU First. HBCU First Incorporated is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. HBCU First is a student-led community advancing the well-being and economic participation of America's Black youth. As the leading HBCU internship and mentoring academy, we empower elite students from 70-plus historically Black colleges and universities with in-demand college-to-career skills. For more information, visit their website, www.hbcufirst.com.
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is B Slade, and you're watching The Michael Finkley Show. Keep it locked.
Next, Finkley. Author, speaker, and host CreativSoul is here. She talks about how she overcame her tragic ordeal. Find the route of healing. When did that come? Said to us that I learned to love myself, to forgive myself. Why should we forgive ourselves? Mondays, Finkley.
There's a new familiar face this time. Say hello to the new daytime. See it everywhere you go. New and the greatest show. It's no other than the Michael Finkley Show. There is no other. He's like no other. I'm so glad that someone resonates with me. Come celebrate with me. Let's turn it to
Welcome back to the Michael Finkley Show. And now, y'all, my next guest, I am super excited to be chatting with this creative being within herself. She's an author. She's a speaker. She's an overcomer herself, fam. She's none other than CreativSoul. How are you?
I'm blessed. Thank you. How are you?
Like I said before we started, super, uber well, fantastic. I am super excited to be chatting with you because when my team and I received your information and we read it, and just the human side came out of all of us, and it's like, yeah, we got to have this person on. Definitely gonna have this person on because, first of all, you have a story that's relatable, I feel, in 2025, but not many people are talking about it because some may be ashamed or some may be feeling, oh, they're going to judge me in this way, and I'm not going to tell anything. So thank you for being one of the first to say, you know what? I went through it, but this is how I overcame. And so by looking at you, first of all, you're beautiful. That's
Thank
number one.
you. Thank
And
you.
by looking at you, it's like, she ain't got no story. She ain't been through
I
nothing.
don't look like what I've been through.
That part. Come on. Come on. And we're so glad. But you do have a story, and it starts off where? Where does this story begin that you can remember?
I first want to tell you thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it. I don't take this lightly. Very grateful for this opportunity. My story started when I was very young. I lived in a home where I saw abuse, with my father showing abuse to my mother. And then as I grew up, I had dealt with verbal abuse, emotional abuse. And then I actually started dealing with self-love. And we all know that when young girls are young and they may have their father or not have their father, but if they don't have that fatherly love, the hugs, the I love yous, because you can have the financial part of it, but you need to know in your heart that you're loved. And so when you don't see that or feel that, oftentimes young girls grow up with self-love issues and they grow up looking for love. And so that was my problem. I grew up looking for love in all the wrong places, getting in relationships with people that did not deserve me at all. I even been in rooms or in houses where I had friends that were going through domestic violence, and I was in the home and had to see them go through it as well. Fast forwarding to um, my healing journey, I had to make a decision. Do I want to continue to live in fear, deal with self-love issues, and live my life like this? Or was I going to take a stand for my own self and put me first? That's where it started, childhood.
Wow, and to start so young and to see that in the home, what did you actually witness? Because sometimes, as a child, it can be kind of foggy at times. What did you actually witness that was taking place with your mom, and what did you actually experience yourself?
So, my father was very controlling. He controlled a lot of different things. So, who my mom spoke to, um, who I could talk to, what church I was supposed to go to. Um, there were some physical altercations with him toward my mother. There was verbal altercations, making her feel like she was less than, she wasn't capable of doing things. And then as I got older, I started experiencing it like if you didn't make the same amount of money that he made, you wasn't good enough. If you didn't have the materialistic things, you wasn't good enough. So I grew up in a home where the finances was more important than anything else. If you had the nice car, the nice house, the glamorous things, that was what's important. Now, we all know it takes money to survive. We all know that. However, God comes first. And you cannot believe in your mind that all you need is money. It's more than just money. And so navigating through that was very difficult because here I am trying to focus in school. I'm trying to be the daughter that you want me to be. You want me to choose the career that you want me to choose. Everything had to be his way or no way. Even now, even now, even now. And it I love my father dearly. I do. But I had to start creating boundaries because if I wouldn't have created boundaries, I would be under someone controlling me still. I don't want to live my life like that. And to me, like I said, it's not about money. You can have all the money in the world and still feel empty inside. And so that's how I've always felt. There was times where I would go somewhere and come back and he would be calling like, who are you with? You know, you have to go to work in the morning. And it's like, I'm with people from church. We just went to a Christian play and went to eat afterwards. I'm not running the streets. I'm not, out here doing anything bad. It was just a controlled environment. Now, the physical is what I saw my mom go through. It was definitely physical, taking the glass of orange juice and throwing it in her face, um, the hitting, so many different things, clicking guns in the home to scare her. Yeah. And I remember there was a one particular time where she had called me and because of the situation that happened, it was the orange juice situation. And the police had been called because he had took the whole glass and just threw it on her. The police came, and because the police officer that came went to church at the same church that they attended, and his mother used to work with my father, they didn't do anything. So it was always somebody that knew him or he knew how to do certain things where there wasn't marks shown and then nothing ever happened. That was life.
That was daily life.
That's how it was then.
Wow, wow. You mentioned going to school. I can only imagine someone this young. adolescence, going into my teenage years, and it's already awkward for us anyway. Growing up, right, trying to find our own self and our own being. But how was that in school though? And how did you keep quiet because of these things happening at home? Were you scared?
I was scared, and I was frustrated. Church was my safe haven. Like I know a lot of times kids they don't be want to go to church, but for me, like I would rather sit in a 5 hour revival than go home. Like church was my safe haven, and I wrote about that in my first book, Tears of a Shattered Heart. Um, I got involved. I was involved in a lot of different things to help me through it. But like when I was in school, I would struggle. Like I didn't want to read. I didn't, I couldn't focus. I struggled a lot, like in elementary school. When I got in middle school, is when I actually went to somebody at one of the staff members, one of the counselors, and I had talked to her, and I took a friend with me because I was scared, and so I had told her everything that was going on, like what I was feeling, but I was begging the lady, please, please don't call my house. Don't call my house. And now when I think about that, I'm like, wait a minute. I went to this lady for help, but then I begged her not to say anything. How is she going to help me? And two, when you think about it, too, a lot of times people look at children and they see them all dressed up and they nice looking, their hair is combed, they look good on the outside, but nobody knows they're hurting in the inside. Now, in today's world, if somebody went to the school and said that, they probably would be on it, quicker. And even if you beg not to tell, they probably would still, you know, investigate or say something to the authorities. But nobody called my home, to my knowledge. I think if I would have known if they did, I would have been in trouble. But I did say something in middle school. And then when I got in high school, my mother did leave. Well, she left a few times and then went back. But when I was in high school, she left and we moved with my aunt. And then I had a good relationship with my grandmother. So I went and stayed at my grandmother's house for a little bit because she didn't stay that far from my aunt. And so my mom would pick me up in the morning and take me to school. And so there was one particular day or night I had a dream. And so when I got up that morning, I was like, Grandma, I had a dream. And she said, my grandma was like superstitious at the time. And she was like, don't tell me the dream until I think it was like 9 o'clock in the morning or something like that. And so back then, the high schools, they had the pay phones. So I called her from the payphone to tell her my dream. And in the dream, my mom was packing to go back to my dad. And so it wasn't too much longer after that. She actually was packing so that we can go back. So it was a back and forth thing my whole life, pretty much.
And again, just being that young and again seeing what you saw, um, that's baggage. And I know it carried through each stage of your life until you said no more. How was dating for you during this time? What were your relationships like in carrying all of this from your childhood?
But my dating life was not so great because here it is. I'm dealing with self-love issues. I don't know who I am. I don't really know how to love. Um, My mom would always tell my sister and I that she loves us, and she would text us every morning too and say, I love you, and send us hearts and stuff. I knew my mom loved us, and I believe my dad loves us too. He just doesn't know how to love in the proper way. I think his is when you haven't dealt with your own trauma, you love people in a different way. But going back to the story, my dating life was not great. I was accepting things that I didn't have to accept. I was getting in relationships with people that my first relationship, he ran the streets. He was hanging, like when I say run the streets, he's hanging out at nighttime with his cousin. He comes back whenever he, feel like it. He's 4 years older than me. And I'm just this young girl, like, oh, he loves me. He loves me. Not even knowing what true love is. And I fell in the generational cycle. And some people don't believe in that. but I do. I know and understand now that it's real. Somebody has to break the curse. Like somebody has to break the cycle. Some of the same things I saw my mom go through, I started going through it. Like even though I didn't like I wasn't in a relationship where I was getting physically abused, but the mental and the emotional and the verbal was there. And people don't understand. They think that domestic violence is just physical. It's not. It's verbal, it's emotional, it's mental. Yes, and it really hurts inside. It really, really does. So I started dealing with all that. And then I stayed with that person for some years, got out of that relationship and got in another relationship, and got married. But here it is now I'm married and I haven't dealt with all this baggage. So here it is, this young girl that always wanted to get married. And I thought, oh, one day I'm going to get married and have my own family. And I won't have to deal with all this family drama. But I didn't heal from my trauma though. And so now I'm in this relationship. And then when problems start to happen in my relationship, I'm dealing with childhood trauma, adulthood trauma, and at some point, it's a breaking point if you don't heal. It just gets worse. It doesn't get better until you start working on your healing journey. That's when I realized like this is bad. And then even being in the home where my friend was being abused by her husband, it hurts because now not only have I dealt with it, I'm seeing my friend go through it, and hers was all of the above. So I just tell people you got to learn to love yourself because if you don't, those traps, you will fall for anything. Loving you is so important. I found out so much about myself on this healing journey. It's been amazing.
And that's the best part. I feel that the sun will shine again, right? We go through our midnights when mornings due at any point. We don't know when it's going to happen, but morning has to come. And we're going to talk about your morning of healing when we come back. Big man, back up.
I will travel across. Hey, Jason Page, the voice of a generation, yeah. Singing the Pokemon theme song, and you're watching the Michael Finkley Show, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I know it's my destiny.
Hello, everybody. It's Finkley from the Finkley Experience. We're an educational consulting firm that specializes in first generation education. So we assist students with their college and career endeavors. We train school administrators on the state of first generation students. And also, we partner with colleges and universities to assist their first generation population for easy transition from high school to college. So if you're looking for a presenter or speaker that presents on these topics and so much more, visit our website at thefinkleyexperience.com and learn about all that we do. We're looking forward to working with you.
What's up, guys? This is Justin Brown. I am the one, the only Long Island Lip, and you're watching The Michael Finkley Show.
Fan, welcome back. And I'm chatting with the creative soul herself. And I'm just definitely, the story is again relatable, but I definitely love the realness and authenticness that you bring to it, just being real about it because it happened, right? It happened. This is how it happened. But you know what? This is how I'm healing. This is
Yeah.
how I'm healing from because it didn't break me. This is how I'm healing. This is the good part for me. This is the good part. Even though all that was necessary for us to get to this point. We didn't understand it back then, but it was necessary to get us to the healing aspect. When did you find the route of healing? When did that come?
So my mom passed a little bit over 2 years ago. And thank you. When that happened, she passed from multiple myeloma. And when she passed, it was hard. And so now I don't have my mom. And then I'm still dealing with things that my dad is doing. So now I gotta make a decision that family probably won't agree with, friends probably won't agree with, church probably won't agree with, but I gotta save me, right? So I just took a step back, and I always prayed, but now I'm praying and I'm asking God to help me to get through this. Like, help me to get through losing my mother and being able to navigate through this, but also help me to learn to forgive. And I started praying for my father in a different way, like praying for his mind and praying for his healing, praying that he will get the help that he needs so that he can heal from his trauma so that he can stop hurting other people, right? And so I'm going through this journey. And I mean, I would talk to family a little bit, but I really just took time for myself. And I had started writing my book, Tears of a Shattered Heart. This was, I actually started writing it during COVID. I wrote a little bit and I put it down and didn't pick it back up. Now I have all this time where I'm trying to figure me out, get myself together. I started writing. That's what helped me. My godmother used to tell me, everything that you're going through, you're going to help somebody one day. And I used to be like, I can't help my own self. Who am I going to help? And she would say, you're going to help somebody. You're going to be helping people one day. That you're going through this, but you're going to, and she would just keep encouraging me. And I'd be like, yay, me. Like, why I got to go through this? Now I know and I understand, and I'm walking in my purpose. I just started writing the book, and I said, I'm going to write this book and I'm going to help other people through my story. And I said, there's times where I want to give up on life. If I can save somebody from jumping off a cliff or hurting themselves or whatever they're thinking in their mind that's negative, if I could turn that into a positive, my job is done. So I thought I was just going to write this one book, right? And then after I wrote the book, um, I had this interview. And after I had this interview, someone was having a women's conference. And they contacted me and said they wanted me to come and speak on vision boards. Vision boards are big for me because I started doing vision boards and it started helping me through my healing and accomplishing my goals. So I'm like, this is great. So I went, had the speaking engagement, talked about walking in your purpose, and I thought that was it. But after that, I kept writing. And so now I started using everything that I went through to help somebody else. So I said, okay, I want to teach children self-love because I dealt with self-love. What better way to do that than to do affirmation coloring books? Kids love to color. So I came out with Wonderfully Made Affirmation Coloring Book for little girls. Then I created Fearfully Made Affirmation Coloring Book for the boys. And then after that, I decided I wanted to do a podcast. And I was like, I still want to help people. There's people out there that have these stories. They could really be telling their stories of their pain and how they got to their purpose so that they can help God's people. I said, I want my own show one day. What better way to do that? I started the podcast called Pain to Purpose, and it just took off from there. And then my latest book, Granny's House, I wrote Granny's House to show the love that a grandmother has for her grandchildren, which is my mother. Um, that inspired me to write the book. But I wrote that one and I've just been writing. It's been helping me through my healing journey, praying, listening to motivational talks, um, just the self work, the inner work therapy. Let me make sure I don't forget about that because so many people in the community is against therapy. But I tell people therapy is just like going to see a primary care doctor, okay? If you're going through something and you go to your primary care doctor, they're going to tell you if you have diabetes, they're going to tell you what medicine to take. When you go to it, the Lord bless us with therapists for a reason. It's okay. It does not mean that you're crazy. You just need some help to navigate, to learn to navigate through your situation. It's okay.
That's
So,
okay. Yes, that's
yeah.
normal.
So through prayer and my I have my playlist for my gospel music that help me through it and listening to certain sermons, some certain people that do inspirational talks and my podcast and writing that's what has been helping me. And I'm still healing. You don't heal overnight, especially when you've been through so much trauma. But every day you get 24 hours to renew your mind, to do something new, to better yourself and be a better you than you were the day before. And so that's what I'm doing. Just working on me and it's helping me through my healing journey.
Love it. Oh, and you know what? I love the way you said this too, because so many people they don't understand it at times. And it took me a while to get as well. But as an adult, I'm like, I get it. When we say that, we start our healing process, it can be a continuous thing, right? I am still in the process of, right? And like you said, that's okay. That's okay as long as first of all, getting myself together because it starts with me. And what I learned about the process in that is that the process is for me. The process is for me to cry, to understand the deeper holes that I couldn't fill out when I was younger. The process is for me, but the results of that is for everybody else. They can have
Yeah.
all that stuff, but the process is for me because I'm learning more about myself. You said, as you wrote to the show, you said to us that I learned to love myself, to forgive myself. Why should we forgive ourselves?
It's not your fault. Now, I will say, like when you're a child and you're going through things and you have trauma from childhood, it's not your fault. Now, as I got older, I made some mistakes that I should not have made. I've done some things that I am not proud of, right? I've asked God for forgiveness, but even as God forgives me, I have to forgive myself so that I can continue to grow. You can't hold on to what you did and still grow. So, to be a better you, forgive yourself for what you did wrong. Forgive yourself for those mistakes that you made. You made those mistakes, but it's all about growth. It becomes a problem when you keep making those mistakes. But when you change your mind, when you change your thinking, and you know that you can be a better you and just work on that, you're okay. It's okay.
Okay, okay. I love that because you're creating your own space. You're creating your own paradise, your own peace at during that time as well. And understanding that you said it's okay.
And you
That
got to
it's
create
okay.
boundaries too.
Ooh,
Boundaries are important. Definitely got to create boundaries because if you don't create boundaries, people that hurt you will continue to hurt you. And sometimes you have to love people from afar. It's okay.
what's your relationship with your father like today?
We don't have a great relationship, and he still tries the control tactics sometimes. And so for me, I choose to just step back. When you're ready to work on your own healing and respect me, because people say, well, his thing is the Bible says, honor thy mother and thy father. Said it does, but it also says, do not provoke thy children. And if I'm not disrespecting you, I haven't done anything wrong. Now, I'm not going to say I've never done anything wrong. I will not say that because I've said things back. Now I'm learning that I don't have to always like respond or I don't have to give you the response that you want. And sometimes people, they'll take a negative response or a positive one. They just want you to respond. I don't have to respond at all. And they say the saying, if you don't have anything good to say, don't say anything at all. Sometimes you just have to stay quiet on certain things when you've expressed how you felt and the person or the people are still treating you a certain way, then you just continue to work on your healing process, step back, create those boundaries, and just stick to it. That's the only thing that you can do, and pray for the people that are not working on their healing. Um, Maybe one day we will be able to have that father and daughter relationship. But the thing is, for me, when I was younger, I was wanting that a certain type of love from my father. And then as I got older, I was still wanting that same love, right? Not understanding that God loves me. Even when I don't love myself, even when the person next door don't love me, God loves me. And as long as I do what I'm supposed to do for God and his people and treat people right and honor him, he got me. So I can't be worried about if the next person love me or not. I can't worry about that anymore. I can't.
We can. Life's too short.
Mhm. Not my
Life's too
battle.
short.
Not my battle. It was never my battle. I just didn't understand it that way. But like Yolanda Adams says, it's not my battle, it's the Lord. So it's in the Lord's hands. I still pray for him. I love him dearly. And I pray that he gets the healing that he needs so that he can stop hurting other people.
Either on this side or the other side, it's going to happen. Because my best friend said our words are listening to us, so it has to happen. Our words have power behind them, so it has to happen. It's going to happen. Like I said, on this side or the other side. The conversation, I know that after this show, the conversation will continue far after the show airs. But how can others reach out to you and even purchase your books? And how can we listen to your amazing podcast, Pain to Purpose?
So my podcast, Pain to Purpose, is pain the number two purpose. It's on YouTube, so you can follow me over there. You can also email me at creativesoul.business@gmail.com, and it's creative without the E at the end. You can reach me on Facebook. On Facebook is Creative Soul hyphen Pain to Purpose podcast. And you can purchase my books on Amazon. I have Tears of a Shattered Heart. I have Granny's House, um, Wonderfully Made Affirmation Coloring Book, and I have Fearfully Made Affirmation Coloring Book, and they're all on Amazon. I also have a website. It is www.paintopurposepodcast.com. And you can also go on there and see the t-shirts and tumblers and the books on there as well. I have a song that was created just for me that I got to be a part of and do a video shoot. And it is called How to Heal. How the number two heal, and it's on all platforms.
All right, you're staying busy, y'all, because again, there's a message behind the journey. So thank you for sharing the hardships, the good times, the bad times, and of course, the healing of it all for us as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome. And Think Fam, thank you for watching as well. And remember to always pursue your dreams. Have a good one.